Hi, hope you're having a great day. You're watching JG Entertainment, and for this video, I'm gonna go into Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Why exactly? Well, we just got our first look at the villain for this movie. With this image right here, this image shows the first look at the villain for this movie, and along with this image came the caption that says, "Meet the Spot, Miles Morales' most formidable foe yet." Voiced by Jason Schwartzman. See him in action in the Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse exclusively in movie theaters June 2nd of 2023. So yeah, that's the caption that came along with this image. And yeah, this lets us know two things. First of all, that this is going to be the villain of the movie because it says Miles Morales' most formidable foe yet, which let us know that, yep, this is going to be the new villain for the movie, the main villain for the movie, because there's going to be other villains in the movie. We already know Vulture's going to be in the movie. We know that Gwen's dad is going to be an antagonist for the movie as well. So we know that those are still going to be some villains, and I'm sure there's going to be more villains in the movie, just like in the first one, but this is going to be the main villain, just like Kingpin was the main villain from the past movie. Now, we also got confirmation that this villain is the Spot. Now, who is the Spot, you might be asking? As the Spot is not a very popular character from the comics. He's very, underground, not very much people know him, but he is a Spider-Man villain from the comics. The Spot, whose real name is Dr. Jonathan On, was a scientist who worked for Kingpin. One day, while working on a way to artificially cloak superhero powers, he achieved to create a solid black circular portal. This drained the power of the whole city, causing a blackout. This made the circle unstable, and Dr. Jonathan, in fear of losing his power, stepped in on the portal. He awoke in a different dimension where half of it was dark and half of it was light, all covered in portals. Dr. Jonathan found the portal to take him back to his universe. However, once he was back, he realized that the portals got attached to him, covering him from head to toe with black spots, or he was all white. He lost his color, he was all white, covered with black spots. As you can see in this image, that's how he looks in the comics. He decided to use his powers for evil, working for Kingpin and fighting heroes like Spider-Man and Daredevil. So yeah, that's his origins in the comics. And going back to his look, this is his look in the comics. And his look, as you can see, he's covered in black spots and he's literally light, kind of like Mr. Negative, kind of. I think that's kind of the point. So yeah, he's basically light and then like a bunch of dark spots. Now those dark spots, he can throw them, and this means that he can spawn wraps for anywhere he wants. He can just throw them, including he can throw them mid-air if he wants to, because they don't follow the gravitational rules. He can throw them mid-air and they'll stay mid-air, and he can enlarge them, he can make them smaller, he can move them, and whenever he wants. He controls them. He's basically in control of them. So yeah, that's really OP. He can also teleport with these portals. He can place one there somewhere and then place another one over there, and then he'll teleport from that. So yeah, he can teleport, and these portals can travel to a different universe, like the multiverse. He can travel to a different universe, which makes a lot of sense for this movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. So that makes a lot of sense. Or he can teleport to a spot chosen in the same universe. So he can't teleport to a spot chosen in a different universe, but in that universe, he can select the spot where he wants to teleport. So yeah, that's pretty OP. He's pretty strong. He's really, really strong. I'm surprised he's really strong in the comics because he has really strong powers. Now, the Spot is such a good counter to Spider-Man, as any hits towards Spot usually causes them to be teleported somewhere else. As seen by the image released for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, where you can see that Miles is kicking the Spot, and you see that the kick actually ends up going almost to Gwen through a different spot. So yeah, that's why he's such a formidable foe for Spider-Man, because most of his hits don't affect him, because they just go to somewhere else. And as you can see right here in this image, that's really cool. That's gonna make for some really cool action scenes, because as you can see, Miles was about to hit Gwen, you know what I mean? And he was aiming for Spot, but the teleportation just put his foot somewhere else. So yeah, really interesting. As you can see, that's gonna be super cool. The most previous way that he has beaten Spider-Man in the comics is by surrounding him with spots all around him. So any move he wants to do to get out, basically if he wants to hit something, he hits himself back. He wants to kick himself, he'll kick himself back. If he shoots webs, he's gonna web himself. So yeah, that's the most popular way that he's ever beaten Spider-Man, and it's really effective. As you can see, how is he supposed to get out of that? There's literally no way to get out of that. So yeah, that's really, really effective. Spider-Man was only able to beat Spot after making him waste all the spots in his body. After he throws all the spots, yeah, Spider-Man keeps dodging them, trying to make him waste them, and that's when he's able to beat him, because that's when he can actually get some hits on him without getting his hits teleported somewhere else. So yeah, that's the only way he was able to beat him, so keep that in mind for the movie, which I'm sure is going to come in handy. I think Spot's origins might change a little in the movie, making him one of Kingpin's scientists that worked in the Collider that we saw in the first movie, instead of a cloak thing that he did in the comics. I think it's going to include that. There was a bunch of spots all over the Collider in the first movie. I remember that a lot. There was a bunch of spots, a bunch of circles. So I would be surprised if that he went to one of those universes. So in the comics, it was after his experiment caused the blackout. He probably ended up going in it the first time that the Collider went on, whenever the whole city got on a blackout. I think that might be the case whenever Spider-Man died. You remember that scene? Yeah, I think maybe that's whenever he went in. I have no idea, but I do think that's going to be very interesting to see how that works. In the comics, he really has no motive to hate Spider-Man, so I don't really know how they're going to change that in the movies. I'm pretty sure it's going to give him motive to want to beat Spider-Man instead of just being a bad guy because Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse isn't like that. I mean, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was super well thought out, so I'm pretty sure this movie is going to be super well thought out as well. So we'll see what motive they give him, but I'm very interested to see what they do with him. But yeah, it's going to be super cool. I think he's going to be make some really cool action scenes. Now, the writers have said that he's going to have like a really cool design where he's gonna look like a hand-drawn unfinished sketch, you know. So the spots, he says they're gonna look a lot like little unfinished sketches. And like he says that as he starts to learn to use his powers more over the movie, he's gonna get more and more like finished as the sketch. So I'm interested to see that. I think that's gonna be super cool visually speaking. I think that's gonna be super cool, and it's gonna let the audience know, oh yeah, he's getting stronger with his powers and everything. So yeah, I think that's gonna be super cool, and also it's gonna be shaded with like hand-drawn things. I think all things are gonna be super awesome, and this will make Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and Into the Spider-Verse such a good movie. The animation things that was super awesome. So I think this movie is gonna even one up that, as you can see by the villain. I think it's gonna be super cool. So yeah, I really think it's gonna be for some really cool action scenes. I'm very curious to see what his goal is overall in the movie. But overall, this sounds really cool, really interesting. The first image was incredible, and this gives me a lot of hope for the movie going forward. So yeah, tell me, what do you think about this villain down in the comments? I'm definitely very curious. Are you excited to see him? Are you not excited to see him? I'm very curious. Do you think that he's a good choice for the villain? Do you think he's gonna make for some really cool action scenes? All the thoughts you have about him, tell me that down in the comments. As well as leave a like if you find this video informative or enjoyable. It really helps, so please leave a like and subscribe for a lot more content like this, covering Marvel, DC, Star Wars, box office, all that type of stuff. Subscribe for all that content that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. And this is JBG Entertainment, out.